Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of the Disc Golf Answerman. I am Bobby. Oh, Daddy Slick Breeze.
It went so low there for a second, you couldn't even hear it.
The mic couldn't register. I have with me Eric Canada McCabe.
What's up?
Oh, what's up?
And Robert Patagonia.
Patagonia.
McCall.
I don't think that sounded Italian. I don't think this is from.
Where is Patagonia?
You're
Patagonia?
Patagonia.
Did you say Patagonia?
Oh, what is it? Patagonia.
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 Yeah.
I didn't say Patagonia.
Patagonia?
But Patagonia is just a magical
Patagonia
place
on ya.
with
No.
all with
Yeah.
all
Anya.
pants of all sizes. No pants are discriminated against. That's Patagonia.
And
Perfect.
Eric McCabe, Canada. So,
We won't talk about that.
Oh, we're
though.
not allowed to talk about that?
No, we're not going to talk
Oh,
about
all right, we're not going to talk about that. We'll just say A.
that.
A. All right, so this is the Disc Golf Answer Man show. We're here to answer your disc golf questions. We are super excited about the United States Amateur Match Play Championships. Registration is open right now for you to be a TD for it. Super easy. Basically, go to UDisc, sign up, send your money in for the discs, collect your money from the players, run a bracket in your area. It's just an awesome way to have something unique, something different. Disc golf in your area, bring your disc golf community together, have some exciting stuff. You never know what can happen. People that you think should win it all may not win it because that's just the way match play works. Super cool stuff. What is your feedback, Eric, on match play? You ran one last year.
It's disc golf in a box.
In a in a box.
One.
Should we do a commercial with you? Disc golf in a box?
Yeah, let's do this.
No, really. What are your thoughts on if someone's kind of like, I don't know if I should run a bracket?
Well, I ran one here in Emporia, obviously, and I thought it was great. I think everybody that was involved in my brackets at least had a good time. And that's the beauty of this event. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to be an experienced tournament director. Matter of fact, you could play in your own event if you're below, what is it, 969?
Below 970, yeah.
Below 970 at the beginning of the year.
Yep.
And I don't know about the cash. I can't
think
remember.
they switched it to where
just the rating is the only thing that matters.
only the rating. That's the threshold, yeah.
But yeah, so if that is you and you can play in that event, I think you can play in that event for free. So that's kind of a cool bonus for you.
If your bracket fills up.
Yep, exactly. Something else is pretty cool is the discs that are being released for this year. As a TD, you can purchase some moonshine keystones to sell. You know, and it's the only way you're going to get a moonshine keystone is through the match play. And then the other disc that's really freaking cool, I think a lot of people are going to be pumped about, is the Lucid X Escape.
Yes.
You get those. I think those are for the players, if I'm not mistaken. Player pack discs. So that's just cool enough right there. To get your hands on those that early is pretty cool. So.
Yeah. Lucid. A lot of people really love that Lucid X stiffer plastic. So excited to see how that comes out in the Escape. Right now we have 122 local qualifying brackets in 43 states, provinces right now.
That's pretty cool.
So things are going really good, but we are anxious to see that number go up because it's just super exciting times to see the page and see people report in about match play events that are happening in their area.
Yeah,
So-
match play is awesome too. It's a lot of fun.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a very good, very unique way of playing the
It
game.
evens the playing field.
Yes. February 14th is when you can actually start signing up to play in the bracket. So make sure that if you're in an area where you already have, like if you're in Maine, which has 8 already, Kansas, which has 8, Alabama has 5, Pennsylvania East and West has 5. So together, Pennsylvania as a state has 10. Wow. Make sure you're ready for February 14th to sign up because there's only, 16 spots, right?
Correct.
And
Per
you gotta-
bracket.
and you got to get set up and ready to go and hurry up and
Yes.
get paid in, get your stuff so you're ready to go for sure.
But if your local bracket is full, gauge some interest and see if you can't run another one. Because
Absolutely.
If you're like, man, I just didn't sign up in time, they're super easy to run. I mean, like Eric said, it's a tournament in a box in more or less words. But it is super easy to run. You can do it very, very easily. And if your bracket fills, you can get your entry paid for.
Yep. February 14th, you can sign up.
And that's Eric's birthday.
Yeah, we're releasing it on my birthday.
Oh, yeah. that's what I
Happy
did.
birthday.
Yeah,
Birthday.
birdies.
And then one more thing real quick. March 1st, get ready for if you're in the Colorado area, even if you're within driving distance, you'll be able to play some disc golf in a football stadium. We're going to be playing disc golf experience at Bronco Stadium at Mile High, or Mile High Stadium, however you want to say it.
However you
But it'll be a good time out in Colorado. Really looking forward to that. I know a group of us are going to be heading out there, so it'll be a chance to meet us as well. I can't remember, Eric.
I'll be there.
You'll be there? Okay, Eric will be there. I know I'll be there. And I believe Danny and Anthony are going out there too as well, I think.
What the heck?
Are you guys going out there? Did we talk about that? Yeah. Okay, Anthony is for sure.
Are you going?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
So
Robert will be there. So, but
cool. Thanks.
Oh, is Robert going to be there?
Yes.
I didn't know.
You went, I'm going to be there. Eric's going to be there.
Danny
Who else is going to be
Who else is going to be there?
The heck, Bobby?
I think
You're cool. You're cool. You're dumb.
Yeah,
You're cool.
You're cool. You're cool. You're okay.
Paige Bjerkes will be there as well.
Yes,
I know
Paige
that.
Bjerkes will be there. She's excited about being there. So anyway, that date,
I'm
March
going to knock
1st,
on your walls at night now.
is when the
Just for
registration
I'm
opens.
just saying.
All right. Now, for what
That's all you're gonna
everybody
hear.
fast forwards to,
Yep.
they hit that skip button, 45 seconds, 45 seconds, 45 seconds. Here we are. Now we're at
Maybe
the
they just
disco
listened
station.
to it in 2 times.
In 2 times? That's
And
true.
if they did, then this will sound normal.
Now
So
I'm
now you're ready.
Now I'm going to have to go back and see what it
Listen
if
to it in 2
sounds
times. I'm
normal.
curious. I'm actually very curious.
I know Johnny V. listens to
Timestamp it,
2
clip
times
it.
sometimes. All right, let's hop into the disc golf questions. Remember, guys, you can go to discgolfansman.com, submit your disc golf question. We are at like 74 on the Google forms. So
Dude, we
please
got down
be
to 50
patient.
something
I
last
know.
week.
Please be patient. We'll get to
Oh
them.
my goodness.
This one is from No Name. People are not wanting to put their name in there. I guess they're embarrassed to ask, maybe. Hey, Disc Golf Fans Man Crew, one of our courses in my hometown is heavily wooded. I've noticed that understable discs with a backhand do tend to work better than overstable. However, is the backhand the best type of shot to throw in thick woods? Is one type of throw objectively better for wooded courses, or should you just go with what you know? Thanks, everyone. Have a peachy day.
Oh.
Rhymes with peachy.
Moving to the country.
I think
Eat a lot of peaches. Sorry, go ahead.
forehands actually work really, really well in the woods. I think it's because you can see what you're hitting, your gap. You never kind of have your back toward the gap, so to speak, that you're hitting. But it just depends. It depends on the course. I've played many wooded courses that were very righty friendly. That the backhand is the most the best shot for that particular hole, I guess. And then of course there's the opposite side where lefties or forehand game would be more advantage. So it really it's just like any other course. Really, it just kind of depends on the course. That said, I think you see a lot more people throwing forehands more accurately through the woods because, kind of like I said, you're kind of open to the gap and you can kind of visualize the shot a little easier.
Yeah, you never have to take your eyes off the target, which is a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, though, just because, the forehand, you don't have to take your eyes off your target, just because that is true doesn't mean that's necessarily what you need to throw. Like if Eric and I go to the woods, we're not probably throwing a whole bunch of forehands if we have to hit a tight gap. Most of the time, we're just relying on our backhand because that's what we're better at.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, true.
All right, next question comes from delete Tyler. This is a podcast question. Oh.
All right.
Hey, Disc Golf Fans Man team. Bit of an odd question for you. I myself, inspired by your team, wanted to start my own podcast to talk about my progression in the sport as an amateur.
Nice.
I thought I came up with the perfect name that no one had staked claim to it yet. Turns out you guys did back in 2016.
Inside the circle.
Absolutely. Appears to no longer be used actively on Stitcher, and I was wondering what the possibility was of you taking down your old page so I could use it for my own selfish reasons. Absolutely not, Tyler. That's too good of a name. We might I don't know if I would have plans to ever do anything, but man, that's a cool name to have. So I'll think about it, Tyler.
He won't think about it.
You should just do something like On the Circle.
On the Circle.
He's already dismissed.
Chris asks
In the side of the circle.
In the side. Inside the circle. While playing some winter disc golf in Denver area, the course was really muddy. I threw a putt and my forward momentum caused my foot to slip in the mud, sliding forward of my lie.
Ooh.
Rip.
Could this be called a foot fault?
Sure. Absolutely.
It should
can.
be called a foot fault.
Yep. It should and is a foot fault.
Yep. There you go.
For real? Even
Yeah.
if it's the mud that caused it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What does mud have to do with anything?
Well, I mean, if
mud.
you could say, it was extenuating circumstances, then next foot fault I have, I'd be like, oh, I slipped on some grass.
Yeah. That said, I don't think there's going to be too many people that are going to call you on a foot fault when you slip like that either.
Right. Most of the time, you probably threw a pretty bad shot.
Correct.
But regardless of that, yeah, I think it's probably not much in the spirit of the game to watch somebody in super thick mud so closely that they're gonna pick you out on
right, exactly,
a small slide or something. But
or ice.
Yeah, but if they call it, then it's within their rights and the rules.
It's true.
And if they see it, it's their responsibility to call it.
Cheaters.
It's
true.
This one's from what'd you say, Doc Zen?
Doc Zen.
Since you have a good many discs, is there a chance we could see like other companies, Innova,
okay,
a disc like Warrant have 3 versions, like the Warrant Super Straight or Warrant Overstable? By the way, that's actually Discraft that does that.
Not Innova.
Never heard of them. That's not true.
I get the different plastics make a difference, but I'm mainly in the wood, so I prefer to have lucid plastics. Also, I'm new. If this is a bad question, sorry, love the show. This is a terrible question, Doc. I'm kidding. It's not a bad question.
It's kind of been discussed. If we want, I know Latitude actually does this with their
Saint and Saint Pro,
Saint Pro, Ballista Pro, that kind of River Pro. I think we decided, like for instance, the Getaway is kind of like an Escape Pro. It's just a more stable version of the Escape.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of just calling it the same name, we came up with a new name.
Yeah, and I think the point is to avoid confusion.
Yes.
If somebody was looking for the Escape is a great disc for beginners, or it's a great disc for lots of people, but a lot of beginners really, really like it.
Mm-hmm.
If they go and pick up an Escape Pro on accident and it acts a lot more overstable, and they're like, this disc is stupid, when they could have got the wrong disc. So that's where we're at on that, I think.
Yeah, that's where we're at right now. But as we've learned, there's a lot of things that can pivot.
Yeah.
In our lives.
Pivot.
So who knows? Yeah,
who knows what's going to happen?
Maybe something in the future. Who knows?
You never know.
Pivot.
Next one's from Andrew. I find that I'm always taking different discs in and out of my bag, trying to decide between discs with similar stats. How do you decide between different molds that have similar stats? Is it better to rotate through discs until you find the ones you throw well, or is it better to pick up some and just stick with them until you learn how to throw them well? I can't seem to make up my mind about what I should leave in my bag, and I'm having trouble with constantly hitting my lines.
I think there is something to be said for getting a set of discs and sticking with them so that you learn them. But if a disc if a disc acts better for you, just because it's not one of the ones that you committed to doesn't mean you shouldn't put it in your bag. I would, anytime we get new releases and we go through them, if I think it's going to work for me, I'm putting it in my bag. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
There you go. So I would say, work on your consistency in the field and getting consistent releases, but I wouldn't be afraid to try new molds if it really does feel like they're going to work better for you, instead of just sticking to a group just to say you stuck to a group.
I mean, I would say, yeah, because it does get kind of, across all the disc golf companies, there's something new all the time. So there is kind of a thing of always wanting the new thing, because you're thinking, well, what if it does something that I'm missing? Or
sure, what
if this one goes a little farther, a little straighter, a little better for me? I think for the most part, most pros have a pretty set bag.
Mm-hmm.
But they play so often that when something new comes out, they want to try it. And they can almost, I don't want to say immediately, but pretty fast they would know.
Yeah, whether it's going to make it or not.
Yeah, whether this is going to make it my bag. So I think it's just getting to know your bag a lot better. So maybe sticking with the stuff that you know.
Yeah.
Isn't that what you said?
Getting to know.
I think trying new stuff is always good.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Well, yeah, especially when it's something new.
Yes.
And the thing is,
we're supposed to.
Here's the thing, Andrew.
Plus, Jeremy said, do this.
Don't fall for the stuff on social media when you say, it must be just another XYZ, or it throws just like a blah, blah, blah. Because it may throw, but it may just feel more comfortable in your hand. Or, there's something about, there's something about that disc that it just feels better, even though it may have already do something similar to what your disc does.
Fact.
Hey, Disc Golf Answer fans, can you explain the difference between the Slammer and the Harp? I see they are both overstable putters, but is there enough difference to bag them both without overlap?
I would think that there's enough, but they're pretty close to each other. It kind of depends on what you're using that disc for, that shot selection for. They're both kind of geared as putters, but I don't really know anybody that putts with either one of them, unless it's super windy. They are great approach discs, like putt-and approach kind of style. I think that depending on the plastic, the Harp's going to be a little bit more overstable. That said, I do have a Lucid Slammer in my bag that is more overstable
Bananas
than
overstable.
Yeah, it's just a Lucid one, and it's crazy overstable. So I think they're pretty close to each other, and for me personally, I don't see a purpose in bagging both. Now the Harp is a good, maybe better forehand approach, but I don't do that, so there's no purpose for me to have that in my bag. So
for sure. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Next one from Jeremy was wondering what type of plastic would the Raider be released in right away? Would it be bio right away, or would it just be released in Lucid and Fusion? Just to kind of educate, BioFusion is actually like a regrind of Lucid and Fusion. So, in a sense, BioFusion wouldn't be the first plastic we put out because
you'd have to grind it down first.
Yeah,
it could be other discs.
It could be other discs.
Well,
it's
true.
not
That's
like
true.
you're
That's
just
true. That's true.
just every bio enforcer isn't just reground.
Why does it not lose its soul in the essence of
it loses its soul.
Because some bioenforcers aren't very stable, and that's because it was reground from witnesses.
Yes.
Right.
So that's what it says.
That is not true.
That's false. I made that up.
Most of the time, we release stuff in Lucid first. Of course, we're learning that there's a lot of pivoting going on. A lot of our lives are changing. No, I'm playing.
He's all about the pivot today.
Pivot, I guess so.
No, I'm just teasing.
I'm not sure if it's Lucid or Fusion that's coming out.
I think Fusion's going to be our first one.
Okay.
Pretty sure.
Nice.
Bio will come later.
Yes.
And it will be
later.
Great.
Billy Gibson from North Carolina. Whoop, whoop.
So
But
I
he put whoop, whoop.
assume you. Okay.
Hey, Bob, to the tune of Bob Moran. Oh, Bob, B. Bobby, chill farther, smooth wind, or to whom it may concern. If you renew your PDJ membership but played a sanctioned tourney before, will those rounds retroactively be counted towards your rating? Thanks for all you do.
Only for Bobby.
Yep,
Keep it real or no deal. Life's our garden, you dig. When life gives you lemons, I make beef stew.
Nice. Well, you got this one, right?
Yeah. He didn't ask
you
us.
specifically.
Oh, that's right. So if you renew your PDG membership but play a sanctioned tourney before, will those rounds retroactively be counted? Yes.
No.
50-50 shot there.
You have to,
and you failed.
You have to email the PDJ about it, and they can.
That's what I was thinking the whole time.
That's what I was gonna say. You didn't let me finish.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yes, but you have to email the PDGA.
Yes, but also not really yes.
Yes, but no.
So
it's kind of a middle ground.
This is why I take the photos and the videos and I don't run the events.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay.
This one's from Justin. What is the rule on a lost disc in a tournament? Say you're playing a tournament in the woods and a shot is thrown and no one can find the disc. How long can you spend looking for it, and what happens if it is not found? Thanks, guide. Robert is the GOAT. Oh, jeez.
I don't know if I'm the GOAT. I really appreciate that, but I'll give that title to
Billy
somebody
Goat?
I mean, the
else.
GOAT at
Goat,
what
goat.
though? He didn't really explain the GOAT of what.
At pushing hair products. That's possible.
Yes.
It's entirely possible. By the way, email
Around
me back.
here.
Email me back, please. Dollar Shave Club. Anyway,
Because they listen.
well, I emailed them. We'll see if they email me back.
No, he listens on the show.
Oh, they listen to the show. Oh yeah,
Right.
they're ardent listeners. Anyway,
Ardent?
All right, so here's the rule.
This one I can answer.
Do
Go
it.
ahead.
But I'm
Let's
going to
hear
let
it.
you.
No,
I'm going to
okay.
allow you.
No,
I would
please.
love for you to answer this one.
Don't you get 3 minutes?
From
The time that someone calls time.
that's correct.
All right.
Yes. So
and then what happens?
And then if they don't, they just count it as a lost disc.
And then what happens?
Yeah, but
with
what
the lost
happens?
disc?
And then you go throw from where they say you should throw in the rule book.
Correct. You're really close. That was
You're
a really
not
good one.
wrong. You're not wrong.
That was a really good one. You just do what they say to do in the rule book, and you're covered.
You're golden.
All right, so we're all three playing a disc golf round. It doesn't even have to be in the woods; it can be anywhere. And I throw a tee shot. We're not sure where it ends up. We look for it for a minute, and then not an actual minute, but
Not like timed minute.
a short amount of time.
My
And then-
answer was so much better.
well,
But
but
not wrong.
but it's once the whole group starts looking and someone says,
But he lost the disc in this story. so-
Right, yeah.
once everybody starts looking, that's when you're supposed to start the timer.
And you have to vocally say,
all right, I'm starting the clock. Yeah. And then it's 3 minutes from then. If the disc is lost, you proceed to your previous lie with a 1-stroke penalty.
And one thing that does kind of suck about that, if the 3 minutes is up and you say, all right, it's lost, and then you find it, sorry about it.
Already lost. Yep.
So,
now that part
you get the disc back. That's cool, but you don't get to play from it.
You still get a stroke penalty and back to the previous lie. You didn't say that, did you?
Back to the previous lie?
Did you say that? Okay.
All right, so let's go to Speak Pipe. I'm not sure if we got this question last week. I believe I deleted everything, so this should be a brand new question.
Dude,
hold on.
So help me if this is the... Go ahead.
No, I'm serious.
Go ahead.
Let's listen. I don't know.
Hey, cool daddy.
I knew it.
Breeze.
I knew it.
Oh, that was my fault. Sorry, guys.
I freaking knew it. I am so mad at you.
All right, so here's a really new one.
All right.
Hello, Bobby. Cool daddy. Slick
You played that
breeze.
question.
I think I like that one much better.
I listened last week.
Oh, you listened to it?
When I was out walking around.
Yeah, come on. Anyway, yeah, this has to be... What was his name? Ron?
This one's wrong.
Hello, Bobby. Cool daddy. Slick breeze.
I like it.
Eric, the truth, McCabe, and Robert, the voice, McCall.
Didn't they say this last
This
time?
is Ron, the bald Viking from Mound Valley, Kansas. And
Whoa.
I never did get into radio. You guys talked about that the last time I did this. And I just never did it, so I never got a chance to do anything like this. The Raider, your new distance driver from Dynamic Discs.
I like it.
Be dynamic.
God, you're high.
Anyway, I have 2 questions. One's a serious question about form or technique. I get a lot of velocity when I throw, and my max distance is about 300 to 330 feet at the most. I don't get a lot of rotation, so I was wondering what you guys could do to help me get more rotation. I just don't get the glide. It just kind of flies and dies, and I don't get the glide that some of the other guys that I play with do. And my other question...
We'll do that one first. How do you get more spin, more rotation?
Spin more.
Spin it more.
If you just think in your mind, how could I make this spin more? And then you do that thing. If you do what it says in the rule book.
Turntable.
That's right. No. I think when you're trying to create
like a carousel,
when you're trying to create extra spin, that's going to come down to your form mostly, and that's going to spin comes from your acceleration and hitting those power pockets. I think those are the most important things. So if you are not going to be able to spin the disc quite as fast if you're not reaching back all the way because you're not going to be able to accelerate through. You're also not going to be able to spin it quite as fast if you reach back and keep your arm tight to your body and kind of round around your shoulders. That's going to slow the spin of the disc. And so what you need to work on, I think, is probably mostly just acceleration. That's what gets disc to have that extra glide. You may also just be throwing discs that are too fast for you. And that may be causing it to dump out. And there's also a possibility that the disc is a little bit nose up. And when it is nose up, that's going to kill all your distance.
Kill it.
So accelerating through, I think, is super duper important to creating spin.
All right, here's the second question.
Okay.
It's kind of for fun with all these cold temperatures we've had around here. My hometown of Benson, Minnesota was 68 below with the wind chill the other night. And I saw where Seppo Paju had played in 7-degree weather in Finland. So what's the coldest temperatures that you guys have played around in, either in practice or in a tournament? And I really thank you guys for everything that you guys do for the sport, grow the sport, and be dynamic.
Yes. All right. So
that's funny because actually there was a guy in Wisconsin, Terry Miller, posted about this or went out that day. It was super cold. This guy's played a round of disc golf every day for it's like 1,600 days.
Yeah.
Something crazy like that.
Yeah, that's like 20 years.
Yeah, and he went out and played
it's not 20
that
years.
day that it was minus 20 degrees or whatever.
Is that the video where he's out and like you could see on his beard it was freezing up? That's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know the temperature. I mean, usually when
1,949 days is what somebody put in chat.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. That's unbelievable.
Is that what I said? Did I say 1,600
You said
days?
16.
So 1,900, yeah.
That's almost a whole year more than you thought, Eric.
Wow. I am way off. Although you did say like 20 years.
Samson, purposefully incorrect.
I got the one right.
Swimmy, slappy, Swanson.
Swimmy.
when it gets around the 40-ish degrees,
You don't play ever.
I don't
Bobby,
play.
So you can just
whatever.
don't
I'm
play.
not even looking to play if it's like in the 40s.
Well, I'm not as big of a sissy as these two.
Okay, first of all, chill. Okay.
I've played Hops and Heisers the last like 6 weeks in a row or something like that, and it's been cold. We've had snow on the ground. It's really not that bad if you bundle up and get out there. Now, negative 60 is a little different than like 20 above zero, but the coldest in memory that I can remember playing in was last year on New Year's Day. We had our tags.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
And we didn't have very many people come out, but it was our first initial tag, like go out and play and get your tags here in Emporia. And it was probably like close to the -1, -2, 0 degree. It was cold.
Yep.
But the sun was out and it wasn't windy, so it didn't seem that bad.
Yep.
But that was probably the coldest I'd played in. And it's just, when it gets that cold, man, it's hard to breathe, and it's just
your hands feel terrible.
Yeah, it is pretty miserable. But that's probably anything negative like that. I'm not leaving the house.
The coldest I've played in was definitely since I've moved here, and it was in single digits, 7, 8 degrees, somewhere in there. I did not enjoy that much. Although if it's not windy, like you said, it doesn't really feel that bad.
If the sun's out and it's not windy, you can bundle up enough to be warm.
I would take 10 degrees and no wind immediately, very easily over 30 degrees and 15-mile-an-hour winds.
Yes, me too.
Yeah, no question.
Same.
All right, next question is from Justin from Topeka. What is a putter that has the feel of a deputy, but a stability in the Marshall Judge range? I feel like the feel and the depth of my deputies, or plural, deputy.
I think it's just deputies.
Oh, okay. But my main miss has been to the right, and it just wants to keep gliding by the basket.
Glide.
I like how Eric Oakley talks about how the Marshall makes him commit to the putt because of the stability.
He stole that from me.
But I do not get along with the feel of that disc. Thanks for all you guys do for disc golf.
Boy, do I have a disc for you.
I was going to say the Pure, but
I have a different disc for you.
You have the Keystone.
Even different than that.
All right, let's hear it.
Dagger.
It's called the Wharton. Have you heard of it?
Dagger. No. He's talking about how shallow it is.
Have you heard of it? It's called the Warden.
It's really
super good.
He was going to say the Warden.
It's deep. Well, I mean, not deep, but it's
the Warden is definitely deeper than the Deputy. No doubt about it. I'm kind of being a butthead. But I will say that's kind of standard fare for me. The stability of the Warden is probably something that's going to be closer to what you're looking for. I think the Pure is probably a good answer as well. And then the Mercy, I've always felt like the Mercy was not quite as deep as the Warden. But I mean, we're talking millimeters.
But it has a micro bead on it, so it doesn't seem to be as deep either. Probably.
Yeah.
But I think a Pure is a good option. It's pretty shallow. It's not overstable, but it's more stable than the Deputy is. So maybe try out a Pure, or if maybe just feel them too and get an idea of how they feel first, and then go from there.
And then also ultimately get some Wardens, because you'll be happy that you did.
Scott is curious, what is your favorite running joke of Disc Golf Answer Man? His are, number 1,
Malachi.
Right. Yep, Malachi. Number 2,
Torchy's Tacos.
Keeping It Real.
Oh, okay.
And number 3, the infinite number of ways people pronounce Bobby Cool Daddy Slick Breeze. Yeah, nobody says it right. Except for Ron. He said it right, Bobby Cool.
Well, yeah, because Ron's a professional and should run us all out of jobs, probably.
Hello, Bobby Cool Daddy Slick Breeze.
Listen to that freaking guy.
Yeah.
I want that.
He either is a voice actor or he's smoked for 20 years every single day. It's one or the other. It cannot be any other option.
He's got some reverb on his audio. So
I disagree.
I bet you.
I disagree. That's all natural.
That's all natural. All right. So anything else that's a running joke of? I think pretty much. Since Robert's been on the show,
Robert's a running joke.
I'm teasing, dude.
This is really fun. For all you guys, for all the questions that get submitted,
you can't feed us stuff like that.
Yeah, you can't throw it real slow down the middle, because they have no choice but to swing. Okay, but for all those people who are like, it'd be really fun to work in disc golf. I would love to be on Disc Golf Answer Man. Try sitting in the seat for a minute and just see how it feels.
No, it's just you.
The answer is bad. Okay,
Just kidding. Just kidding.
Let's just can we just move on to the next question, please? Can we just next question?
Next one's from Gabe. This is about PDGA memberships. I've been playing disc golf for a few years and have been in a couple of tournaments. I would like to get a PDGA membership to support everything you guys stand for, and so I can play more tournaments. I'm 17 and don't know if I should get a junior membership or an amateur membership. I think he asked this on the Facebook group. What are the main differences between the two, and what do you recommend I do?
Well, one is cheaper.
I would go with the junior one to start out
If
with.
you can get a junior membership, get a junior membership.
Right, because other than that, I mean, there's no difference in the benefits, right?
Correct. I'm pretty sure that's correct. I'll look.
But he can't play in professional events. No, he probably can't, actually.
Are you looking it up, Bobby, or you want me to?
Go for it.
You're looking it up because I'm going to the next question. This one is from Kevin. Hey, what's up, Disc Golf Answer fam? I'm working to developing a backhand roller shot, and I'm curious what disc you would recommend for developing a roller shot. Thanks for all you guys do to help grow the sport, and always keep it real.
A very difficult shot to learn.
A backhand roller shot.
Backhand roller. My suggestion to you is, without knowing your arm speed or what kind of discs you're throwing now, it's pretty difficult to know what kind of discs it would be beneficial for you to roll. Because my particular roller disc is a disc that Bobby would probably throw air out, like the Renegade.
Oh, uh-huh.
You throw the Renegade for your air shots. That's out of the box roller for me. So my suggestion to you is to get something relatively understable at first, something like a Witness, a Maul, maybe a
Fury.
Hatchet, something like that. Something that's going to be really understable, just to get your form down, get the disc down, and see how the disc reacts. If you're hitting it and it's just instantly going right, that's when you just kind of need to start stepping up in stability or your angles.
Did you find that stuff about the PDJ and the junior and stuff?
I didn't see any difference between amateur and junior, so it's just
Do
if you can sign up for junior.
do junior. Do it.
Next one is from Keaton. Hey, guys, I love what y'all doing for the sport. I love hearing about y'all's life as well. My question today is, I can throw 350 to 375 consistently on a golf line,
Nice.
but I can't find a distance driver I love. I have several distance drivers that I like, the Sword, Ballista, Enforcer, and Defender. I love the Getaway, and I'm looking for a longer version of it. If I could get y'all's recommendations on what I should try, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Longer Getaway.
Man, the Getaway goes so far.
It really does. The only thing I think that is close to that same sort of stability and like ability to be thrown straight for a long time. Somebody in the chat said always Warden. Warden is correct. No, I would say the Bio Enforcer is about the only disc that I think fits that slot quite like that. I would Lucid X Trespass.
I would say
too.
Trespass as well.
Yeah.
That would have been what I would have said. Something, a domier run of Trespass or the Lucid X. Actually, the Lucid X and the Lucid X Trespass and the Getaway do fly very similar, but Trespass just goes a little bit further because it's faster and whatnot. So Trespass would be my answer.
Definitely.
All right, let's hear from Peter.
Peter,
hey y'all, this is Peter from Tennessee, and I've got a rules question for you. So I'm out here on hole 12, and there was a guy pretty far down the fairway, and I didn't think I could reach him, so I went ahead and I guess I teed off, and so anyway, there's blood everywhere.
Yep, I'm gonna stop. Is this the same guy that sent in the thing last time?
It sounds like Danny.
Sounds like Danny. Is this Danny? Is Danny from Tennessee?
I don't think that was Danny.
It kind of sounds
Replay
like
it.
I don't want to play it.
Why?
I'm afraid he's going to say something
Let him
bad
say
on the
it.
air.
It's
So I'm out here on hole 12,
That's not
and
Danny.
there was a guy pretty far down the fairway,
That's not Danny.
and I didn't think I could reach him, so I went ahead
Too deep.
and I guess I teed off. And
Yeah, I'm afraid this is going to go somewhere bad. I'll have to listen to this off the air. I don't want this on the air. You guys answer a question while I listen to the question.
Everybody says Danny.
That's definitely Danny.
Is that you, Danny?
I could just listen to it.
I told you, Bobby.
Finish it.
Spoil sport. You wrecked the whole thing.
Oh, let's see. Well, I got a little nervous after the last time somebody sent in something
And
a
the
little
discs went
whatever.
flying.
Yeah. All right, here we
suggestive.
No. So anyway,
go. Okay,
there's
now
blood
it does sound like
everywhere.
Danny.
He's not moving. He's on the
What,
ground.
when Danny said it
and,
was me.
I'm pretty sure
Well, but
somebody called the police. But my question is, with the disc in the back of his skull sticking out like that, do I get relief from the puddle of blood, or do I have to
Puddle of
get
blood.
right up on him?
Oh, Danny.
I'm all for respecting the dead, so I but I also want to play by the rules. I like to practice that way. So thank you.
I called that right away.
Yes, you did.
You did. Yes,
Eric,
you did.
Eric kind of.
I looked at Robert
Yeah,
first,
kinda-
and I'm like, is that?
Danny?
I didn't think it was Danny.
That's very funny, man.
Sorry, Danny. Didn't mean to steal your thunder. All right, next question from LZ Daily. Robert, thank you for the tip that you gave during the round at Cedar Hill Chill 2018. I've had the opportunity to watch your first round.
Sweet. What was it? Do you remember?
No.
Okay.
You said, oh, here we go. You said to throw a mid instead of a driver if you were unsure of making the gap between trees.
Oh, yeah.
It will be less out to ricochet, allowing the disc to not stray far from the fairway. Having taken this into account over the past year, this tip comes to mind and has taken strokes off my game.
Nice.
What's a tip that you all would say make whoa? What's a tip that you all would say made a good impact on your game?
What do you think, Eric?
Probably be confident is probably the most. I mean, it's probably the easiest thing for someone to tell you to do is just be confident. But it honestly, if you think about it, if you're out there in the middle of a round playing a tournament, if things are going south, what is probably going wrong?
Most of the time, it's mental stuff.
Mental, exactly. And even if it's like out of your reach, there's nothing you can do about it. You just got to continue to keep grinding. And I remember LaRon was actually the one that told me this. Just, one, believe in yourself because no one else is going to do it for you.
Right.
I believe you.
And
I will believe in you, though.
Okay. Well, Bobby will believe in you, too. But no, just stay confident. Stay in the moment is what, the one thing that's really stuck with me.
Yeah, that's a really good one. I really like to tell people, especially as they're just getting into tournaments, don't try and be a hero because you will often end up just adding unnecessary strokes to your score. Especially if you're playing in the woods and you get kind of a bad kick in there. A lot of times there will be like a little gap and you're thinking, oh, if I just hit this, then I will, I'll get out to the fairway. I'll have a good chance to save par, something like that. And it can just go so wrong so fast. Like here, since I gave a good tip at Cedar Hill Chill, let me direct you to a video where I did not take this advice myself, which was the In the Mind video at Piney Woods this year. I was in a spot where I could kind of flick my wrist and maybe get a look at a 3 on this par 3 where I hit a bad tree, got a bad kick. Or I could throw a forehand roller where I know I'm going to hit the gap. It's probably not going to give me a look at 3, but almost impossible for me to screw it up so bad that I get a score as bad as I eventually did.
Right.
I tried to throw the backhand. I hit a tree directly in front of me. I mean, no more than 3 or 4 feet in front of me. And it kicked behind me and to my left. And so I had to make like a decent putt 2 shots later to save 5. So,
back and to the left.
Yeah, it was rough. So don't be a hero. Don't try to be a hero. Take your medicine, pitch out. That's going to ultimately help your score, even though in the moment it feels really bad.
That kind of reminds me of another one, actually. Not just don't be a hero, but stay in your own game.
Yeah, there you go.
Meaning if you're playing with players that are better than you, just because they go for a shot doesn't necessarily mean that you need to take that shot. I don't know how many times I've been talked into shots because I saw someone execute it.
Yep.
And going away from your game plan. So that's another one.
And to kind of go along with that, it really goes both ways. Like, if your game plan is an aggressive one and you see lots of people lay up on a hole, if you didn't practice laying up, freaking go for it. Stick to your game plan. But the opposite is true. And a lot of this happens for Eric and I on hole 5, Jones East, every time we play it. He goes up and throws it over the OB, and it's almost always safe. And when I try to do that, I almost always end up out of bounds. I've cleared it like 3 times.
Except that one time that we were doubles partners.
Oh, and then super parked it on the pole. But that's an outlier because most of the time I find the tall grass.
Because I was already safe.
Yeah, true. But not super parked.
But not super parked.
Anyway, go ahead.
Bobby, what's yours?
Can I go now?
You can.
No, you got to tell us what your.
Oh, my tip? Putt like you give us. Oh,
yep. Yep. That was circa 2008.
Yeah. No, I think the which kind of follows maybe that is just follow through. And that, I mean, that's what everybody say, but I don't know how many times I've missed a putt. And then all of a sudden I realized that I never did follow through. I never followed through with my hand, the handshake, whatever you want to, however you want to remember it. So Jake Fair asks, as a relatively new player, parenthetical 9 months, I'm really struggling with keeping my drive release low. I use an X step to drive, but still have high release when standing still. Any thoughts or drills that would help? You guys are awesome. By the way, on these form question, guys, hopefully you follow us on Instagram, Dynamic Discs, because Danny puts out his Disc Golf Answer Man video answers. He'll take your form questions and he'll answer them in video form. So make sure you check out the IGTV section of our Instagram. So what do you guys say about Jake here?
You said adding steps to a standstill?
I use an X step to drive, but still have high release when standing still. Any thoughts or drills that would help?
I think what Danny always talks about on when you're releasing too high is it's counterintuitive, but to follow through high. Because a lot of times if you get your reach back is moderately low, like lower than your pectoral muscles, in order for the disc to actually come out nose down, you actually have to follow through a little bit higher. What a lot of people will do is think, I want to throw the disc down, so they reach back too high, and that ends up kind of arcing their arm. And so it starts high and then finishes high. So you want to reach back, not relatively low, like down by your knees, but right around your solar plexus right here, kind of the level of that. And then
xiphoid process.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's right.
Our audio listeners are going, I know where that is.
And then follow through kind of high. I think
so. They're going to be throwing from their toes now.
Right.
That's it.
Excellent. This one's from Chris. I am 45 and have played for around 5 years. I recently decided to show up to a local tags match. The car is a par 63 at 7,204 feet. I played my best round ever on that course, ending 5 over and came in last place out of 18. Okay. The guy who won beat me by 20 strokes. He was on my card, and his drive distance doubled mine, so I automatically lost 18 strokes to him. Now I am discouraged. Having my best round and still coming in last. What are typical score ranges in the different tournament tiers? Oh, wow, that's kind of... It's all over the board.
Disc golf courses are so different from one to the next to the next. They're always, always, always different. So there's some places like Idlewild comes to mind where pretty much anything under par is like, man, you did something right.
Yeah.
But
USDGC comes to mind too.
Definitely.
On anything under par.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, there's that, and then there's all the way to if you go to a local pitch and putt C tier, then if you don't shoot if you don't shoot better than 10.
Well, even on that same level, if you go to Fountain Hills.
Yeah.
If you don't shoot 10.
You need to be in double digits at Fountain. And if you haven't been out to Fountain, it's quite the prospect.
Yeah.
It's a tough course.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't think there's a set.
Well, let's encourage Chris. Give him some encouragement.
I will
you
say
can do
this.
it, Chris.
I believe in you.
Bobby believes in you. Can't speak for Eric or myself, but Bobby believes in you. I've had this happen as well. It wasn't my best round at the time, but it was one of. I was playing at Texas State's, my first year playing it in the pro division.
Of course,
it was at Tom Bass.
Okay,
big open one.
Yep.
I was playing pretty well, and I was on the card with Nico LaCastro at the time. And I shot pretty good for me. It ended up being rated 1034.
I thought you were going the other way with that.
I shot well.
Good.
1034. Nico beat me by 5. Same wind, super conditions. It was 1080.
Oh, I would hope it was the same conditions and same winds,
I'm just saying. I'm saying sometimes people compare between rounds, whatever.
Right,
this was same card, same round. And yeah, it was a little disheartening, but at the same time, like, man, I just did something that at my level at the time was like, wow, that's awesome. I would take 1034 pretty much any time I played anywhere now.
Absolutely.
So I would say not to get discouraged by that, because disc golf is not about really competing with other people. It's about competing with yourself and getting better. I think that's why we all love it so much. Is nobody is perfect at disc golf. The best disc golfers in the entire world have issues from round to round, and they don't shoot their absolute best. And on those rounds, some people can play their absolute best and beat them. That's why we go out and play, to improve. So awesome on you for having your best round ever. Maybe the next one is going to be even better than that, and you can start closing that gap between you and the guy who beat you by 20.
There you go. Next one is from Richard. One time I was throwing near a bridge and I threw it. Oh, no, I was playing. WTF, Richard. Oh gosh.
In Crowley, Texas.
Yeah.
No, Richard says, I'm currently throwing speed 7 or lower discs on our local course. The longest hole is 352 feet. I seem to be capped at 300 feet with my discs Explorer/Maverick. I've tried to use an escape and getaway, but both landing at the same distance. I know this is partially due to timing and nose angle. My question is, should I keep my speed 9s out of the bag and focus on refining my speed 7 throws? Also, is 350 feet accurately possible with speed 7 discs?
Yeah, of course it is.
Yes.
I can throw a speed 7 that far.
Yep.
I would say.
Mm-hmm.
I can drive in my car speed 7.
7 miles an hour.
Yep.
That's how speed is determined. How fast it's going.
Yeah.
You clock it.
So should he take the speed 9s out of his bag?
Well, he already has them out of his bag. He's asking, should he put those back in his bag? Is what I thought.
He says, should I keep my speed 9s out of my bag? Yes.
Yeah, because he currently only has speed 7 and under, which is crazy to me.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, it's two different styles of game probably, but yeah, I think you should absolutely put in some speed 9s just to see what it does for you. What are you getting out of those discs? Like, what's a speed 9 disc?
Escape. Getaway. Convict.
One more.
Longbowman.
Saint.
Hey, Saint.
Oh,
Saint's a
right,
good one
yeah,
too.
Cool. No, I would absolutely put some of those in. And not just for distance reasons, but for accurate reasons, because all those discs that he had just mentioned are pretty accurate flying discs.
Yeah.
For me, at least, I know exactly what I'm getting out of them. But it's ironic that those discs that you mentioned are the ones that I am throwing for, 350 to 400 feet.
Right.
So absolutely give it a try. What's the worst that's going to happen?
Then I would say if you go out and they're only giving you, say, 10 extra feet, but you don't have quite the consistency,
yeah,
you don't need them.
Yeah.
7 is great for you.
Yeah. What are you still on your under 10? Are you still
Under
10 and
12.
under 12?
12.
12, okay. See,
Trespass. It trespass at 12 or low? 12.
It's a 99.
It's not 12. No, nothing over 12. But that sheriff, the air sheriff,
You'll be throwing
that's
that.
a what?
You'll be throwing it, but will
Sheriff's
he
a 14.
Yeah.
will he be throwing it in windy conditions?
He threw it back into the headwind and it did pretty good.
Did it? Cool.
I need to throw it some more, but that will make me want to throw something faster.
It came out really fast for him. I bet we're talking for Bobby. It was probably like, I don't know, 280, 290. Like it was moving pretty good.
Yeah.
He said, "Whoa!"
But there are times still, and I think it's just because I don't play consistently enough, which I'm going to this year because 850 challenge. Is that I'll get frustrated because I'll pull out my trespass and it'll die to the left too much, and it's because I don't have my form right, my timing right, everything's messed up.
Yeah. No, I was just curious on what your stand, I guess, was
On
still
that.
on your speed. What speed you were on?
Yeah.
7 just that's
7.
that's
if Maverick
pretty
7,
low.
Yes.
Yes, Maverick
Yeah.
is 7.
A couple of people on the chat say that our volume is a little bit low, Bobby.
your face is low.
That is totally fair.
It's the volume's the same. We just got to talk louder.
All right.
All right. Next one comes from Dylan.
What's up, Robert the Warden McCall?
What's up?
Eric Emac Truth McCabe.
What's up?
And Bobby Cool, Daddy Slick Breeze.
Hey, you did
Hope
it right.
You guys are doing well. I've got 3 very important questions for each of you. First off, Robert, what is your preferred driver in Golf Clash? Second,
Nice.
Eric,
So
when playing Mario Kart,
Oh wait, Golf Clash.
I have taken to the mobile game Golf Clash occasionally. I enjoy playing it sometimes. And
Sometimes you play it every time.
every
you
time.
have a chance.
Are you playing it right now?
Wouldn't be surprised if it's up on hold or pause.
Oh,
or
there it
whatever.
is.
hold on. I'm just gonna email
Yeah, okay.
business.
It's an email about golf
business.
clash.
Yeah, so, yeah.
I'm a business. Yeah. These are very serious emails about Golf Clash that I'm reading here. I've been using the extra mile since I got it, but recently I unlocked the Apocalypse. As soon as that's leveled up, I will be using that. Thank you for the
All right.
question.
Now
Good
Eric's question.
Double Dash, who's the duo
Ooh.
that you pick?
Okay. In Double Dash,
What's Double Dash?
Mario Kart. He said
Oh,
Mario
yeah.
Kart before
Yeah,
that.
I
It's
missed
the
it.
one that came
My-
out for GameCube,
My bad.
not the newest one. But the duo I usually pick is Baby Bowser and one of the Koopa Troopas.
Nice.
Those two
Nice.
on a cart.
And finally, Bobby, when you're playing Pong, what side do you prefer to be on?
Pong, because you're so old.
Sucker. Left.
Left.
Aren't you always? No.
Whatever.
That's
I haven't
awesome.
sold my PS4 yet, though, but I'm about to.
Hey, listen, that's funny.
Have a good one, guys.
That's
See you
great.
later. Bye.
That is funny.
Whatever.
Hey, listen, John Jones III, who said, "Geez, Robert, what is Double Dash?" I'm very limited on the games that I play, but when I do play a game, I'm in. There it is.
All right, this one's from Blake. How long after a tournament does a tournament director have to upload the scores to PDGA? I know a tournament director who always waits a week or two to upload scores into PDGA, and often it's not in time for the ratings update. Just wanted to know if there's a certain time they have to upload scores.
There is a time limit, and I don't recall what it is. Maybe Robert can
I'm gonna
potentially
check it
try
out.
and look it up. But this is kind of a sticky situation, so to speak, I guess. Like
Okay.
a topic. What year is it?
2019.
How hard is it to upload your scores now?
2019.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never done
You
it, but
know,
I'm
I
assuming
mean-
not very hard.
Well, I mean, if you have access to online, I mean, it's just frustrating to me when I'm trying to check scores online and they don't have their scores up. It's
Right.
It's kind of annoying, actually. It's first world problems, obviously, but I don't recall. I think that they have a certain amount of day to pay for it, to pay their fees, their dues, and all that. But
Right.
I want to. I really don't know. I don't know the exact.
I'm having trouble finding it.
Nothing?
But either way, it should be quicker than some
I think
some
it's,
people do.
Yeah, I want to say I think their language is in a timely manner, but I don't remember exactly what that is. So.
I would
Someone on the board, a TD or something?
Jorge something.
Here we go. Alex Bush is on here, new member to Team Dynamic Disc. What up? He says, I think it's 1 week for a C tier, 24 hours for a B tier, 2 hours for an A tier.
Okay.
That's what he said.
That's
What about a major?
Major is
Never.
instantaneous.
Yeah.
well, majors have like live scores and
Sure.
but I think his question was geared more toward people that don't get their
The ratings.
the package sent in and everything uploaded for ratings
Oh, yeah.
sake and paid for because you got to have that your dues paid and all that.
Right.
So
Hold on. Taco just messaged me technical standards here. I don't see it, so continue.
All right.
Sorry.
Next question is from Billy, and this is actually you guys think about because he wants to know how many discs you've lost in a tournament because he's talking about he's been playing for 6 months, and as of this posting, he's just played in his first 2 tournaments. The first one was by Jonathan Ray here in Houston, Texas. The second one was called the Evergreen Flyways. It was home to the 2017 Texas State Championships.
Yep.
yes, it was.
He lost 6 discs,
Hey.
or he has lost 6 discs. 2 escapes, and the first one, captain, being my favorites. What's the most you've ever lost in one tournament?
Like a full tournament?
He just says, how many of y'all lost in one tournament?
I don't know.
It would have to be something like the Memorial or something like
Yeah.
that where there's lots of water.
And I don't
stuff.
lose a lot during the Memorial.
Right.
There's only a couple holes really that I would lose
Sure.
something. But throughout that week,
Yeah.
like tens of discs.
I would say I put 2 in the water at USDGC one of the rounds on hole 17. I got
At 17.
got both back, through forehand. First round. I went to backhand after that and landed the island after that.
Yeah.
I threw
Surprising.
one really good ballista pro in on hole 5, but that was a different round.
Hole 17 where?
USDGC.
Yeah, I would say throughout a whole tournament, including practice rounds, a Memorial would definitely be one up there that I've probably lost 10 to 12.
Yeah, I could see that. The one that I right before my first, it was my first weekend of tournaments. It was
Ever?
actually ever winter warm up at
Okay.
Turner Park, and then
Turner Park tune-up.
that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. That was my first in 2010, and then the next day it was Town Lake Pro Am, and I was on lead card in advance for the Town Lake Pro Am, and was warming up on one of the holes, and threw a disc.
Yeah, you'll lose this there too.
Threw a disc into a tree, and it just went directly in the water.
Yep.
And it was like right before they blew 2 minutes.
Oh, that's the best.
And I'm pretty new to disc golf at the time, so I was like,
So you climbed down there and got
what do I it was gone. Like the water was moving.
Yeah.
It's like, what do I even do?
It was cold then too.
Super freaking cold, yeah. And muddy.
Which course?
Town Lake.
The creek that runs through Town Lake in
Yeah.
McKinney, where we have the Town
Is
Lake.
that where they're all where the?
It's big, steep drop offs to the water.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Ron
now.
Silman's course.
Yeah. My buddy
All the
Ryan
trees.
Heiss ended up winning that event advanced tournament, which was
Nice.
awesome.
Nice.
But yeah.
All right, next question comes from ambidextrous disc golfer.
All
Sweet.
right.
Hey guys, long time listener, first time asking a question. I'm one of those evil stepchild left-handed people, but I started out playing disc righty.
Oh.
I naturally threw lefty forehand as well. Where this gets weird is I can also throw lefty backhand. I can throw controlled golf lines with all those shots around 300, maybe 350 if I'm lucky. Should I use all three of these shots or is that too much? If I should
same
use
time.
all three, in what situation should I throw them? Thanks.
You
guys.
should start making trick shot videos where you throw four hands at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ching.
I think if I could have the choice, I would have a great right hand backhand and left hand backhand, because I think you can get a whole lot.
You could carry one disc.
That's right, and everything's a hyzer.
Yeah.
But that's really the reason why I would do it. You don't even have to worry about turning the disc over if you don't want to.
Yeah.
Within reason. I think the only reason that you would use like a lefty forehand over a righty backhand is if there was a low ceiling or something and you really didn't want to take your eyes off the target. That's where I see the forehand being better. But otherwise,
there's certain shots that a forehand can just get to the basket on.
Yeah.
That a backhand lefty shot can't.
Yep.
But I would take lefty and righty all day.
Yeah, but if you're proficient at all three, go for it, man.
Yeah.
Do it.
Why don't you add the other one too? Add all four.
Yeah, come on.
All right, guys. Well, that's all the time we have to answer your questions on the Disc Golf Answer Man show. That took Eric by surprise there.
Yeah.
But stay tuned on YouTube
Stay tuned.
to keep watching us, guys, because we're going to have the afterwards show or the thereafter
Later
show,
on.
subsequently show, the ensuing show, the Hind show.
Hind?
Keep it going. I like that. I actually like the Hind show.
You like the Hind show? Well, I don't want to use the other word because I know that Johnny V has that trademark and he's watching, and I don't want to get sued.
It's a verbal trademark.
So anyway, the what?
The behind?
The behind.
That's
is that
his
up there?
trademark?
The behind, the below show.
The B dynamic Hind show.
We're going to go ahead and end this show. Thank you so much for tuning in and sending your questions in. We appreciate it. Hang on there for the hindmost show.
Hindmost.
Thanks, guys.